of 120 miles per hour. On takeoff, radio and Menudo will perform a dirty roll while retracting the landing gear, continuing over the top in a half Cuban 8. Outstanding pitch authority as the aircraft rolls upright, performs an abrupt nose-up maneuver followed by a quick pushover. The nose 180 degrees about his own axis, even at this slow airspeed. A flat pirouette. The Super Hornet's engines produce over 42,000 pounds of thrust in full AV. This allows the aircraft to save 8 times the force of gravity. Ladies and gentlemen, watch as radio and Menudo enter from the left. Roll at the 90 degrees angle of bank, and radio puts the stick in his lap for the mid-radius turn to tailspan. Super Hornet, indicating it's close to the speed of sound. Radio and Menudo will be very careful not to exceed the speed of sound because the subsequent sonic boom would shadow the windows of cars and buildings in the surrounding area. Keep in mind that this speed is only half of what the aircraft is capable of. As they pass in front of you, Radio and Menudo will pull the aircraft into the vertical. Ladies and gentlemen, from the right, the Super Hornet high-speed pass. Maneuver, the vertical pirouette. Approaching show center at 350 up for a maneuver known as the square loop. Selecting air afterburner as the jet approaches show center, radio will rapidly reposition the nose 4 times while flying a square path through the sky. Recovering at 2,800 feet, radio Menudo will execute a loaded roll to complete the maneuver. From the right, the A-18F Super Hornet square loop.
And now he's going to aim straight down, 90 degrees straight down at the earth, and he'll pull the stick into his lap again at 2,800 feet to recover. I really love this part right here, the loaded roll.
From the right, radio will accelerate to 450 miles per hour at a height of 500 feet. Approaching show center, he'll roll the aircraft inverted and reduce power to idle. For the Super Hornet inverted whisper pass, look to your right. Gentlemen, the inverted whisper pass. Radio Menudo are now setting up for the high alpha pass. This maneuver will show you the incredible slow speed handling characteristics of the Super Hornet. No other aircraft in the world would attempt to maneuver at this slow speed and nose attitude. However, the F-18F Super Hornet remains completely controllable with 2 digital flight control computers aiding radio in keeping this 40,000-pound plane flying at less than 100 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, the Super Hornet High Alpha Pass.
Now that high alpha situation means the number of degrees the nose is pulled up above the relative wind, or in this case, the horizon. And how many degrees up will that nose be, Rube?
That's correct. High Alpha Pass indicating his nose is almost up near 35 degrees above the horizon, balancing out the power for that slow speed flight.
So if he gets much slower, he turns into a bag of hammers, right?
That's right. He wouldn't be going forward, he'd be going backwards and down. 130 miles per hour is extremely challenging and a matter of great pride. Now watch as Radio Menudo perform a touch and go.
Now, Rue, when this happens, this sort of thing happens, no matter what happens, you're trying to catch one of 4 wires stretched across the deck of a carrier, right? 4 big cables.
That's correct. 4 cables, 4 chances to stop.
And for any reason, if you don't catch them all, even if you do catch them, don't the pilots shove the throttles forward just in case?
That's right. Every time we land aboard the carrier, we're going to have our power up at full military power, just in case we don't catch a cable. If the hook skips, we're ready to go flying again and try it one more time.
So in that sort of thing, it'd be called a bolter, huh?
That's correct. There's the good kind where your hook skips, and there's the bad kind where you miss the wires.
Don't want to do that. Now, he won't have his hook down, but he's going to demonstrate that full power being applied to the jet.
That's correct. He'll have the hook up here. He'll perform a touch and go, add some power, low transition, bring the gear up, and come around for a photo pass.
Oh, boy. Keep your eyes and ears on the Rhino.
Picture of the A-18F Super Hornet. Get your cameras ready from the right, the Super Hornet in a photo pass. Here today is one actually used to train pilots and weapons systems officers at Strike Fighter Squadron 106, based in beautiful Virginia Beach, Virginia, at Naval Air Station Oceana. Radio and Menudo currently serve as instructors and spend most of their time teaching new pilots and Wizzos how to employ the Super Hornet. Currently, there are 12 operational Super Hornet squadrons in the Navy, and the aircraft has served in Afghanistan and Iraq. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes many dedicated and talented young men and women to maintain, fix, and fly these machines. Please join Radio and Menudo in acknowledging the maintenance crew that supported a great Super Hornet demonstration. They are AM1 Nicholas Schuster from Waterloo, Indiana, and AEAN Kristen Ackles from Buchanan, Michigan. Both the pilot and Wizzo, as well as the maintenance team, will be available for autographs and photos at the conclusion of their show to your right at the end of the fighter line. On behalf of the United States Navy, we thank you for allowing us to demonstrate the F-A-18 Super Hornet here at the Hampton Roads Air